بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we start our episode where we left off last time, in which Prophet Yusuf's cellmate, the one who survives the prison term and gets to go work for the king, serving him wine and other things, realizes that he forgot his friend. What makes him realize that he forgot his friend Yusuf in the jail? It's because the king himself, the king of Egypt, sees a dream. The king sees this dream multiple times, it is said, and he's looking for an explanation of this dream that he's had. He sees a dream that there are 7 skinny cows, malnourished cows, eating from 7 well-fed, well-taken care of, full cows. And then he sees that there are 7 green grains, good, healthy grains, and then 7 dry, dead, yellow, hay-like grains. SubhanAllah, this dream is recurring to him, and he wants to understand what it means. And so he's asking the people that work for him in his court, the people that are around him, his advisors and other things, what is this dream that I'm seeing? And so the cellmate of Yusuf remembers that he had a cellmate named Yusuf, the one who was a muhsin, the one who had the ability to um, interpret dreams, that was left behind in the jail. And he tells the king of Egypt that I am going to find out for you the meaning of your dream. And so he goes back to visit Yusuf in the jail. Now it's been many years, and we remember that Yusuf had told him, when you get out, mention me to your king so that I can get out because I'm in jail. I did nothing wrong. This is an oppressive thing. I should not be here. I need to get out. But his friend forgot him. Now, when his friend comes back and says to him, listen, our king saw a dream, the regular individual, the regular human, what would be the response? Why do you want my help now? Why are you here asking me for help? You forgot me. You left me stranded in the jail for many more years. You got out and you lived a life for a few years, and I was stuck here. I have nothing to tell you. I have nothing to help you with, right? Regular individual wouldn't respond like that. They'd be holding a grudge. They'd be upset, right? They'd want to get revenge. But this is not Yusuf. Remember, Yusuf alayhi salam is a muhsin. He's one that understands that he has to carry himself with excellence. He's one that understands that he has a purpose, that he has a dream that has to be fulfilled, and that he has a cause. He even did dawah to people in the jail. He even protected himself from the calling of the wife of the Aziz, right? This is Yusuf. He is at a different level, subhanAllah, but he is a prophet and he is a human, as Allah SWT reminded us before. And so we need to learn from him and excel at what he excelled at. And so he does not have the response at all to his cellmate. He says to him, I can interpret your dream for you. Go and tell the king that you will have 7 years of goodness, a lot of rain, a lot of abundance of harvest, healthy animals. Things will be going good for you in your kingdom for 7 years. However, the following 7 years will be quite the opposite. There will be lack of food, lack of resources, lack of rain, lack of abundance and harvest, and it will be 7 very difficult years for you and your people. And so, why does Yusuf take this response? Why does he take this grounding, and why is he more dignified in how he approaches the situation? Why didn't he use the blame game, and why didn't he use the revenge game and offer no help? Because again, Yusuf is not only a muhsin, but he learned from his father. What did he learn from his father? He learned from him that you are a man of responsibility, that you come from a lineage of those who have responsibility, that you have an ummah, that you have a da'wah, right? That you have a calling. And so that means you must be a muslih. You must realize that you are a muslih. You have a responsibility to better society. So we learn from Yusuf to apply to our life, regardless of our situation. We are individuals that are walking the path of our prophets. We are learning from, just like this surah was there to remind the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and to help the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in his difficult time. It's also for us to make us realize that regardless of the situation, the Islamophobia that we may be going through, what is happening in our ummah abroad, in Palestine, in Yemen, in Sudan, and all around the world, in what is happening to us even in our own backyards, regardless of the situation, we have responsibility to give back to society, to make society a better place, a place of virtue, a place of justice, a place of high ethics. That is what we are here for. That's why Allah SWT chose us here. And so this is why Yusuf responds the way he responds, because he realizes his responsibility to be a muslih and to call for islah for the community that he lives in. And so his goal is not to hurt the non-believing society that finds himself in. His goal is to help the non-believing society that he finds himself in. Something for us to reflect on and something for us to learn from. And so his cellmate goes back and tells the king, I have an interpretation for your dream. This is a situation that our kingdom is going to be in for the next 14 years. And the man that interpreted this dream for me, he is in jail. His name is Yusuf, and he is in jail, against his will and for doing nothing wrong, right? And so the king says, bring him to me. And so when Yusuf is being removed from the jail and being brought to the king, the first thing that Yusuf wants to clear is his name. Remember, again, Yusuf was one of wisdom. He was one of dignity. He's one of good character. He's the one that stayed away from all those fitan in his teenage years, right? When he lived in the house of the Aziz. It is very important for him that when he goes back to society, the most important thing about him is his character, right? Is the kind of person who he is. SubhanAllah, this is why he had his father's attention many years ago. Remember when we mentioned his brothers said, why is our father so focused on him when we are the strong ones, we are the wealthy ones, we are the ones that have power and strength? Because Yusuf had character. He was exceptional at the individual that he was and what he carried himself, and why he is called over and over in this surah as a muhsin. And so the first thing he wants to take care of when he's leaving the jail is his reputation. And he tells the king, call those ladies that blame me for something I didn't do. Call that wife of the Aziz and clear my name. I will give society, I will face society, I will grow in this community only when everybody knows who I am, who I stand for, and the ethics and values I carry. This is something very important that we must remember from Yusuf. This is what we represent in our Islamic framework and how we carry. The Prophet ﷺ told us that he has been sent to perfect our akhlaq, right? That is, the Prophet Muhammad hasn't been sent necessarily to define halal and haram and all of these things. We focus so much on fiqh. Our Prophet was sent to us to perfect our akhlaq, and he was the one of the best, khuluqun azim, the most beautiful of akhlaq. And this is exactly what Yusuf was stressing on. This is the person I am, this is what I represent, and when I come out from jail, this is the reputation I need to have, subhanAllah. And so Yusuf is taken out of jail and he goes up to the king. He further explains to the king of Egypt his dream. This is when Yusuf alayhi salam says to the king of Egypt, قَالَ اجْعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ إِنِّي حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. He said to the king of Egypt, make me the one responsible for taking care of the storage of the food and the resources that we have. Because I am hafiz, I am one that can take care of these things, right? I have the character and the ethics to be able to do this. You can trust me with this. And also I am alim. I have the knowledge, right? I have the knowledge of how to do, I have the skill of how to do this. So Yusuf alayhi salam takes his responsibility as a muslih, takes his responsibility as a da'i, his responsibility as a prophet, the son of a prophet, the grandson of a prophet, and says, I am now in a situation, although this is a disbelieving community, a disbelieving society that has thrown me in jail for 9 years and treated me harshly, but I know who I am and the responsibility given to me by my creator. And so I am going to give back and I will take the role and the responsibility that I know I am good at. So much for us to learn from Yusuf. We cannot continue to say that we live in a kafir society, a kafir community. No, this is our community. This is our space that we have to give back to the communities that we live in. And we also have to know that Allah SWT has blessed each and every one of us with a skill and a talent and an ability. And when we are put in the responsibility, don't say, oh, I have to be ashamed, or I have to feel shy. I should never seek position. No, if you have a talent, if you have an ability, and you know very much it is granted to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you know that you can use it to better society and to have goodness and to have good impact, then say, I am capable, right? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts Yusuf in that responsibility, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that after all of what Yusuf went through, his brothers threw him in the well, how he must have felt. He's taken from his family, he's sold on the slave market, he lives in a home with a woman who is not good, he gets thrown in jail for 9 years. All of this is to test his ihsan. All of this is to test his patience. All of this is to formulate the man he would become. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us at the end of this section, وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُف. And this is how we stabilize. This is how we, you know, this is Allah is Latif, in his ability to, subhanAllah, Yusuf did not know why he was going through all of this. Allah knew why he was going through all this. Allah was developing him, was guiding him, was making him strong, was rooting him, right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah never lets the reward of the muhsin gets lost. Everything that Yusuf went through, there is goodness, there is light, there is victory, there is strength, there is position at the end. So again, Yusuf learned from his tests and he got reward from his test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Prophet Muhammad and his companions, you are being tested in these difficult times, but there will be good, there will be victory, there will be light at the end of the tunnel, inshallah, if you learn from Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. And we will pick up from here, inshallah, next episode. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.